morning and welcome to the channel. Out here at Astoria, buoy 10. We're getting pretty close to the bar, so right now we're probably sitting in the 2-footers. Not too bad. Running 4 rods right now. Haven't seen any nets fly yet this morning. We're just at the bottom half of the low tide. And fish it out here with Victor, who works there in Kalama. He likes to take veterans out, so he knows that I'm a veteran, so he said, hey, would you like to come out? So yeah, awesome. And the other Victor's here, and both of us are Coast Guard veterans, so that's awesome. And Chris is hanging out, so we're hoping to get on some fish. It's a little slow right now, so we'll see what we can find. We're going to take a trip out past the bar out to open waters to do a little fishing, so check this out. Of the ocean coming into the river, the two meshing. So we're out at the Columbia River Bar right now. It's not bad out here. It's okay. The Coast Guard said it was 4 to 6, and that's about accurate. Chris has got a fish on. I'm steering the boat, so. There you go. That's a nice size one. Lift it up. There you go. Lift it up. There you go. Chinook.
Well, it's a hatchery anyways. All right.
There you go. That's a good size. I can't see what it is. Is it a Chinook? Oh, okay. Hatchery coho? Yep. Oh yeah, there we go.
You know, all of the ones we got out here before were this.
That's a good size one. I don't know yet.
It's a hatch.
Yep. And it's good. Yes. Yeah, it's a nice looking coho. Good size coho. I horsed it in there.
I saw it. Actually, it's a hatch. Yeah, that's wild. A keeper? But it looks like it's a Chinook. You want it or no?
You see? Yeah, of course I do.
Probably put back in the water from the side.
Okay. I'm gonna go grab the boat again
Yeah, put that back.
and get this ball out of the way first.
Here's the LOL station. Station Potomac Bay. At 11:04, the Coast Guard observed the following conditions on the Potomac Bay bar. Wind and tip, 1 to 3 foot, swell, all outside areas, 3 to 5 foot swell.
What?
Wind, light variable, visibility of 5 nautical miles
Yep.
per age.
Hopefully we got some of that on there.
Potomac Bay bar is currently restricted.
Looks like a wild Chinook, but
Unexpected commercial passenger vessels.
at least 24.
15 feet at the tip. Because of hazardous
The wild
conditions.
Chinook has to be 24 inches
Wear a life jacket.
for it to be
Reminded to stay within the navigable channel that is the safest route from Potomac
kept.
Bay to the Pacific
It's a
Ocean.
small one, but I'll take it.
Small passenger vessels are also reminded of their
Well, we limited out today. We ended up with I think we ended up with 1 Chinook and 5 coho. One of them was, a couple of coho were really decent. Carrying the bag up there right now. So stay tuned, because next up we're going to do a little bit of plunking on the river. Same river system, just a little bit say another 50 miles upstream. What you're looking at, this is one of my tackle boxes that I keep around for plunking. And my next little segment, I'm going to show you my rods and where I'm at, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I know I said that in the next segment I have a spin and glow on there. So there's a couple of different things that you can use when you're out plunking in the river. And plunking is basically, I've got a large weight, I'm going to cast it out there and I'm letting the current float my stuff up. So these are larger spinning glows, and they come in different colors, and what they do is they spin in the water. There's a few there. I've had a lot of these for a long time. Got some beads. You can use these the quick fish right here. Come in different colors. And then another way to fish is using a wobbler. These are actually pretty good size. People anchor up and boat. When they boat, they wobbler fish, and this will rotate in the current. Now this is kind of heavy for plunking, so if you're going to plunk with a wobbler, you want to put one of these bobbers on here. Right here, got some new ones. So I use these pyramid sinkers, and right now I've got a couple of 6-ounce ones on there because the tide is going out. It's pretty strong right now, so I want to hold my stuff to the bottom. I like to use these spreaders. So it hooks to my line, and then I put my weight on there, and then I put my bait out. So if I'm using with the spinning glow right now, I've got a one of them has a hoochie on it, which is basically a squid. These are a little bit bigger. That's a good size hoochie. And the other one is plain. And then I put some coon shrimp on them. And this is just a jar of coon shrimp that I cured myself. And then that'll fall off in the current a lot of times, but the bait itself will spin. I got one sitting here, so if I can get it spinning a little bit. It's an attractor. So I put a little bit of scent, rub a little bit of the scent that I make on this. So that's out there floating right now. That's just kind of a view of a couple of the things that you can use when you're plunking. And you'll see the next segment I'm going to talk about the rods that I have. I bought some new surf rods. These are my older ones. And these work great too. This just a nice bait caster. It's a 9-foot heavy. It's the Shakespeare ugly stick, which is just fine. I'm going to use this rod if I'm just using one bait out there. Now I bought the other rods. They're a lot taller, and I can use them with 3 baits, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. So I brought both rods in. And I haven't done this for a while. I'm just going to take my small boat out on the Columbia today, and I'm having some sort of issue with it, so we couldn't get the motor running. And last night just loaded up the Plunking rods and came down here to, I call it the lazy fishing, because drove my truck up onto the beach here. Got a couple of chairs. There's a few other people out here. One guy had a bite so far. Supposed to be good fishing. So when I talk about plunking, basically I'm gonna come over here. I have a larger rod setup. There's a couple of ways to do this. You can cast from the shore. You're gonna have I've got a 6 ounce weight on there, and I've got these larger poles. And the reason I have the larger poles is I have another setup where I can actually run my kayak out, and I can put 3 different types of baits on there a little bit further. But these fish over here tend to run in closer, so not really necessarily, you know, you don't need to run the kayak over here, but there's some other places where you can do that. So I thought I'd try them out. This is actually, they're a surf rod. This is a 12-foot. It's a heavy surf rod, and I have an Akuma Magna on there. Not really super expensive setup, just enough. It works. First time I used them, I loaded them with I got a 50-pound braid on there. Up at the top, there's a bell. Put the bell on there because you can just do other things. Like Chris is out collecting some driftwood right now, or sit in the truck if it's too cold. Kind of, you know, sometimes it's a nice day out at the beach, just sitting here fishing and not doing much. Kind of checking the lines every half an hour, rebaiting if I need to. So on the plunking, what you want to pay attention in this particular area is the tide. So we're fishing on an outgoing tide, and the reason I'm fishing on the outgoing tide is because everything, the whole line, everything's headed that way downstream. So it lifts your line up and keeps it up in that column, and it's real nice to, especially right now because I got a spin and glow on there, keeps it turning. So when you don't want to fish on the oncoming tide this kind of style, because then you got the polarity, you got the incoming pushing and then the river pushing down, and then that causes it not to spin, and it causes it just to kind of get all snagged up and twirled up. And so we'll be out here for the outgoing tide, and then when that changes, it's going to go to slack here in about an hour, and then once it starts not poling anymore, we're going to be done, basically. So just a little short video to talk about plunking on the river, and there are different ways to do it, like I said, but today just a quick toss it out, hang out on the beach here for a couple hours and just enjoy the scenery. So if you like this type of content, go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. I try to just bring you some fishing when I can and when I'm out and about. Thank you.